Well, we know that Joan lives in Fort Lee and that she's used to big towers. She's used to seeing all over town. Englewood Cliffs is a low-rise community. It's a totally different kind of place and has been for years. Now listen, I think that the involvement of the Freeholder Board goes back to the concept of the bully pulpit, either to encourage or discourage the activities that exist around it. Under these circumstances, I think that the bully pulpit should be used to encourage LG to listen to the residents of the borough of Englewood Cliffs, no matter what that decision is, and they should be sensitive to the feelings of the people in Englewood Cliffs, perhaps more than they should be. That having been said, I think they're going to be building a state-of-the-art building with solar and other environmental features, which is absolutely commendable. But I think that they should be a little more sensitive to the Englewood Cliffs residents.
David, do you have anything to say about this? No, I think. Okay. There are a lot of people who filled out green cards, and I assume you can remember what was there. Let's take another 8 or 9 minutes for 3 questions from the audience. Who has something they really want to raise with this crowd? Of 4 candidates for the 2 freeholder positions. Nick?
Thank you. The pay-to-play issue has gone back and forth over the past few years in the county. A lot of activists, people in this room, wanted the laws tightened, and they were tightened. And then, about less than a year later, they were loosened, and then they got tightened again. I think that we have more work to do in the area of pay-to-play, and I would like to see, well, I'd like to hear from you, if you agree with me, probably with Chuck, I think, that there's more work to do with pay-to-play and making sure that Bergen County has the strictest possible anti-pay-to-play laws in the state within the realm of what's legal, so that it doesn't get overturned. But it's worth risking them being overturned to go right to the line of what's legal, because as it is now, there's still too much money in politics, in my opinion. What's your opinion?
Anybody want that?
I'll take that. I think pay-to-play stinks. I think it's absolutely the worst thing that's happened to New Jersey government, and indeed government around the world. I was a councilman in Richfield, and for year after year, I would see contributors who run our opposite sides contribution sheets filed with the states get all kinds of contracts up and down. It would seem that the contract sheet is an exact duplicate.
It's just me.
Yeah, the contract sheets were an exact duplicate or a mirror image of the contribution sheets. I found it to be disgusting, I found it to be criminal, and I would have no part of it. One thing that you've got to know about me is that in this campaign, I have made no promises to anyone. We have only made the promise to the people that we're going to keep keeping taxes low and working for the people. We've made no promises to anyone. No one has the right to ask me for a favor. No one has the right to ask me for a contract. No one's given me anything or any incentive to do that, and I think it's the easiest job in the world, just to do the right thing, keep taxes low, yours and mine.
Do David or Joan want that one? No.
Well, I have to say ditto. I have never, ever been told or asked to do anything, and so I agree with you on that point. But if you really want to have stronger pay-to-play, and I think, Chuck, you basically have said that you're pretty comfortable with what we have put into place at this point.
I think you're basically up against the
constitutional law. What you need to do is to have state pay-to-play laws that pertain. It can't just be Bergen County, because the other areas of the state could use a little reform. So why don't you put pressure on your state legislators to come together and create a state pay-to-play?
Actually, the state legislator who has been pushing that hardest is just a part of it.
Yes.
Jason, I saw your hand up. You want to ask a question?
Good evening. Jason Castleman, councilman here in town. You know, I was asked about pay-to-play, but I think there are going to be some others who are going to ask about that. My question would be about...
You can't hear.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My question is going to be about gambling in Bergen County. With the recent demise of Atlantic City and the number of casinos that are going bankrupt or out of business, cities like Jersey City or even the Xanadu down in Secaucus applying for permits to actually have gambling. What are your views or concerns regarding gambling in Bergen County or moving gambling to Bergen County? Thank you.
You got it.
I'm going to take this one, and I'm glad my mom is not here. She's going to be 88 in December and likes to go down to Atlantic City, so this is causing some problems for her. Having said that, you know, Atlantic City is Atlantic City. We know it for its convention center. We know it for the casinos, the boardwalk, and the activities. It is a staycation, that's what I like to call it, here in New Jersey, for those that, you know, quite frankly, can't leave the state to go on vacation. So we have to try and figure out the things that we can do here. You know, I refer to the American Dream or Xanadu or whatever you want to call it. You know, we were talking about the blue laws. And I think that is going to be an issue. It's going to impact that area. If you're going to have a multi-use facility at American Dream, so for those that might come to gamble and those that might come for some of the other things that are going to be there, it's going to really impact the area. So although I would perhaps be in favor of having gambling there, I'd like to see how the impact on our state economy and Atlantic City, how it's going to impact it.
Either of you want that question?
Sure. I think that no matter what you do and how you say it, the dominant decision makers on whether or not there's going to be gambling in Bergen County is not going to be the county, but it's going to be the state. What I think we as freeholders have to do is make sure that in the process of doing that, we make certain that traffic issues are resolved in advance. We make certain that people who want to have shopping on their Sabbath is observed appropriately within a zone, if it includes Bergen County, that the blue laws be maintained, and that we have a situation in which perhaps even to go to plebiscite as to whether or not the Bergen County gambling is going to work. I think it will work. I think it will benefit the county. I think it will mean jobs for the county, and on that basis, I favor it. But I think that there's going to be substantial state issuance and involvement in any process.
You have about 30 seconds to sum this Bernadette.
Okay. I'm in favor of it because of the fact that it would create jobs, but I think it has to go to a referendum. And many, many years ago, several of us proposed having some gambling up here in North Jersey, but they did it in New York, they did it in Maryland, they did it in Connecticut, and New Jersey sat there and did nothing. And so, you know, I think it would be a big revitalizer to the area where Xanadu